I'm Miha Ronovic. I'm the product manager of Grid Engine and I work in Sun Microsystems.
My name is Fritz Wessel and I'm the director of the Grid Engine product team.
So I'm going to talk today with Fritz about grid computing. So Fritz, can you explain us what grid computing is? There are many opinion and definition going on in the market. I want to know your take on it.
Well, Miha, you're exactly right. Grid computing is actually an overloaded term. Applications of the term grid can be found in many areas. For instance, generic dynamic service grids, globally connected resource pools, or enterprise or departmental computing grids. Some terms which are used in conjunction with grids are, for instance, stuff like virtualization, web services, parallel applications, all by themselves areas of big importance, but they sometimes confuse the term grid a little bit. But what counts in the end, however, is what customers are actually do with grids. And in all those cases, what grids do for them is boosting productivity, maximizing resource utilization, and simplifying access to needed computing infrastructure.
So basically, grid computing is helping the customers to solve their problem faster. Is that what you say?
Absolutely. Grids mainly do two things for you. So on the one hand, they are making sure that all available resources are utilized in accordance to priorities and workload requirements. And they also provide access to those resources transparently. So users can actually stay focused on their core task and do not have to hunt for resources.
You know, some people say this grid computing is only for universities and research and government. I think there are other interested parties to that, other interested customers. Can you tell us?
Correct, Miha. Actually, grid computing has become a very mainstream technology. I always refer to it as the conveyor belt of modern engineering development and decision support. It has very widespread applications in areas as diverse as designing cars, airplanes, computers, chips, new drugs, in exploring oil and gas fields or the human genome, or in predicting climate changes and risk associated with financial investments.
I think I understand what grid computing is, but about our product Grid Engine, what role does it play in grid computing? Do I have to buy it to start a grid by itself, or do I have other options? What exactly Grid Engine does?
Grid Engine is a very mature compute grid product that brings customers the power of grid computing without having to build a custom infrastructure. Grid Engine features a strong scheduler which has policy-based controls. It is highly scalable, it is very flexible and easy to use, and it supports a broad range of platforms.
This sounds great, but can you give some actual example, typical cases where Grid Engine is used?
Yeah, let me take the example of Mentor Graphics, which is a software vendor for the electronic design and automation industry, that is chip design industry. They are, for instance, doing all their verifications and tests of their software with Grid Engine, but at the same time also do chip designs which they do custom made for customers on basis of Grid Engine. Then, for instance, a large European car manufacturer who is doing all the crash simulations for their cars on top of Grid Engine. Or take, for example, Rising Sun Pictures, an Australian virtual effects company that was involved in many major blockbuster movies such as Charlotte's Web or Lord of the Rings or Superman Begins.
So it's nice to hear that Grid Engine was used in making a movie like The Lord of the Rings. It seems we are quite popular nowadays. How popular is Grid Engine today?
Grid Engine has over 10,000 grids in production today. If you look at the broad range of customers ranging from companies like Mentor Graphics to Ford to Eli Lilly to Motorola, you can see the kind of adoption that we're getting. And all those customers increase their utilization and their time to market.
So you say increase utilization. Does it mean people are not using the computers completely today?
Absolutely correct. An average utilization that you see in industry is something in the area of 10 to 15% of a server system, and Grid Engine can help you drive that up.
So how scalable is our product? I mean, how many servers we can put into a single grid with Grid Engine?
Today we're talking about 10,000 of nodes and 500,000 of simultaneous jobs, so Grid Engine is extremely scalable. In upcoming releases we're going to move it up to 90,000 cores, and by the way, those hosts can be completely heterogeneous.
Heterogeneous? Can you...
Heterogeneous means they can have different operating systems, they can have different specifications, different setups.
Okay, so that's very great. In other words, I could have Linux here, I can have Solaris there. This is great. But now we work for Sun Microsystems. Some people believe we only run on Solaris operating systems. But this is not true. Can you explain why?
Exactly, this is not true. Grid Engine is supported on a very wide variety of operating system platforms, which includes Windows, Linux, AIX, HPUX, Mac OS X, SGI IRIX, and of course the various versions of Solaris.
So I can have in the same grid Windows machine together with Solaris machine together with a Linux machine?
Absolutely, that's what many of our customers do.
If you want to protect your investment because you bought Grid Engine, I believe we also have an open source project based on our product. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, actually Grid Engine is open source. The Grid Engine open source project is the source basis for the Grid Engine product. The source is completely open. The license is an accepted open source license. We have a very strong community, and the community actually has developed an ecosystem around Grid Engine, integrating it with a number of solutions in that space.
Well, I've heard there are about 1 million lines of code over there in open source.
Yeah, roughly, that's true.
Okay. So, our customers, where can they go to get a bit more information?
Yeah, I would recommend as a start to go to sun.com/gridpair. That's a good entry point.
Thank you very much, Fritz. It's been very educational.
Yeah, you're welcome, and thanks for having me.